Welcome to It's Debatable, the show where we debate anything and everything just for the sake of arguing. My name is Doug, and as always, I am arguing against my rival, my contender. He's cute and cuddly, and I'm proud to call him my buddy, Steven Schramm. Steve, how are you?
What's up, Doug? How's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good. So, any New Year's resolutions you want to tell everyone about?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Why? You don't want to better yourself in 2019?
I guess everybody wants to, but I haven't really thought about it. Too busy getting married.
Well, we know you're really busy. Anyway, I want to introduce, before we get into our judge, I want to make sure we introduce our engineer-producer, Jeff. Jeff, how are you?
Doing great, Doug.
Good.
How are you?
Great, great. Do you have any resolutions that you want to tell us about? Do you want to better yourself, or you want to be the same old shit?
I think overall, it's just try to be a better person.
I know.
You know?
That was the easy answer. He didn't even take the easy answer.
Obviously.
Never do.
He's not a good person.
All right, well, great. And to introduce our judge, Tom the Bomb.
Hey, Doug.
How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, good. Do you have any resolutions, or you want to be the same old shitbag in 2018?
No, actually, I'd like to get into shape. Maybe get back into the gym.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All these amazing things that people want to do.
Sure.
Except Shram. So what do you got for us today?
So today, we are going to debate who pulled more tail on New Year's Eve, Dick Clark
I better shut up. I could be in so much trouble. I really like it. You are.
or Ryan Seacrest.
Your mom's pretty.
Well, it's in the name. Dick Clark. Of course he pulled more tail. Whether it had been on New Year's Eve that he rocked, it was named after him for all those years, or it was on American Bandstand. He was getting black and white pussy. And this is going to be so easy because it's in his name. Richard Clark goes by Dick because he gives it to everyone.
Okay.
No way. I have to disagree. Ryan Seacrest definitely gets more tail because he gets more exposure. People see him more. So, not only is he doing New Year's Eve now that Dick Clark's dead, he's on that show with Kelly Ripa. He's hosting American Idol. He has his radio show. There are middle-aged women looking at Ryan Seacrest.
Wait, he has a radio show?
Yeah, I think he's like out in Los Angeles.
Oh,
or
okay.
K-Rock or something.
I don't listen to that.
Yeah.
But you do.
But he has it. And middle-aged women do too. This guy is all over TV sets 5 days a week, prime time, morning, more exposure. So people are falling in love with him more. They know who he is better. When you see Dick Clark, it was once a year, maybe. They'd wheel him out in that wheelchair towards the end, and he wasn't pulling any tail. Ryan Seacrest comes out with his frosted tips, makes all the girls' panties drop, and definitely, seals the deal hard.
Hard.
I don't think that hard.
No?
Not Dick Clark hard.
Wow. Okay. Our first question is, how many co-hosts has Dick Clark attempted to swoon?
Well, the question's loaded because he attempted is not. He gets everyone that he goes after, male, female. He could get anyone. He just points to him, and then they meet him, at a nice diner afterwards. Maybe they have a coffee and a donut, and then plows him in the stall.
Ryan Seacrest, he definitely, anyone he approaches, he gets, and if not, because that's used to the lifestyle he lives. If you noticed, sometime last year, he was accused during that whole Me Too movement thing. Mm-hmm. People didn't want to talk to him. That's because the world kind of flipped on him, but he was just so used to getting so much tail, doing whatever he wants, whenever he wants, that it was that easy for him. Now, eventually, people do get a little, frustrated with it, but that's his mentality. And you only have that mentality when you live that life every single day, just pussy after pussy. It's no question, anyone he tries to swoon, he's getting.
Absolutely.
I want to step in, and I know it was bad timing, but we are in favor of the Me Too movement. I know he just said pussy after pussy after pussy, but it's something we are in favor here at It's Debatable.
I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying that he got in trouble for it because that's the life he was living for so long before that came about, and rightfully so, it did come about. But you never heard anything about Dick Clark like that. He was always a gentleman, maybe give you a little peck on the cheek and walk away and, put on his Depends or whatever else he needed to put on. But
or because the ladies wanted it. They wanted Dick Clark. That's why he pulled so much tail. He didn't have to, Me Too. I didn't hear any stories about Dick Clark, but you have all these old dirtbags. Even Neil deGrasse Tyson is in that. And, that is out of this world that he is involved in this, I heard he asked a girl if he could see Uranus.
What'd she say?
No, fuck you. I'm going to the top.
Okay. Who out of the two would be more likely to have a nightcap with Jenny McCarthy?
It'd be Ryan Seacrest.
Why
Only
is that?
because they're closer in age. She would probably be more attracted to him. Again, especially with Dick Clark being dead, so I don't know if she'd be attracted to something like that. But Jenny McCarthy would basically see Ryan Seacrest. All he would have to do is drop a couple smooth lines, and it's in the bag. It's done. And again, that goes back to the exposure thing too. I think Jenny McCarthy knows more about Ryan Seacrest as well as the rest of America does. He's a gem to America than Dick Clark.
So we're gonna start this question off that Jenny McCarthy has standards. She's fucking Donnie Wahlberg. That's the Wahlberg brother that she goes after. On New Year's, she kissed like 3 or 4 random guys while Donnie was like there just watching. Maybe that's something that they do, but dude, Dick Clark would easily score with Jenny McCarthy. Her standards are pretty low, and when you think of New Year's Eve hosts in the history of this world, dude, the peak is Mr. Richard Clark.
Yes, for New Year's Eve hosts, but that's not what's going to get him tail.
Oh, yes, it will.
It comes out once a year, and everyone's like, "Oh, there's Dick Clark." Ryan Seacrest is everywhere all the time, so nobody's going to look at Dick Clark and say, "Oh, well, he's like Santa Claus almost." Like he comes out and it'd be like, "I better get it in real quick because it's only once a year that I see him." There's just more opportunity with Ryan Seacrest, and the ladies know it and they love it.
But they want something different. They don't want something that's around all the time. They want Dick Clark, the guy they wheel out for New Year's, and he's just around for New Year's, to be the guy that they fuck, because the rest of the year they don't have to have him in their face. Just think if a girl has a one-night stand with Ryan Seacrest on New Year's Eve, then the rest of the year he's blasted on TV. She's like, oh my God, I let that guy fuck me in the ass. Like, damn it. And then it's just in your face.
And
Dick Clark's
it's
a gentleman.
And it's a great memory to have. She gets to tell all her
great
friends. She's
memory.
Like, look at him with Kelly Ripa. She's like, I did some bad things with him on New Year's Eve, and she gets to brag to all her friends. No one's bragging about Dick Clark. It's not happening.
Because it was that good, they don't need to brag about
They
it.
didn't have social media back then either. So,
But you could have made a poster and put it on a telephone pole and told people what you
Like
want.
Dick
It's
was
Facebook.
here?
Dick had sex with me.
Okay.
But just think the horror of that. He's on TV all year long. Your mom calls you in the room. Honey, come in. Oh, my God. That Kelly Ripa's on here with that guy. What's his name? And you walk in and you're just reliving this horror.
Why is it
Of
hard,
the
though?
pain.
Why is it hard?
Because you didn't want.
The ladies
Nobody
love,
wants to
the ladies
be with
love
Ry-
Ryan Seacrest. They love him. They're not.
Yeah, to go shopping with. They don't want to do anything with him.
they don't want to do anything with him.
They don't.
Okay. If Dick Clark and Ryan Seacrest had some closet hobbies, what would they be?
Dick Clark was definitely into yoga, hot yoga.
Okay.
Nice 100 degrees. He liked to sweat it out. And he was into furry stuff.
Furry stuff. What do you mean by furry stuff?
Like, when you dress up in the outfits. He would dress up like a panda bear.
And what would he do as a panda
He
bear?
would have sex.
In a panda bear costume?
Yes, you just cut a hole in the bottom.
For what?
For
And
sex.
you want to talk about horror?
What do you mean?
You want to talk about horror?
What do you mean for what?
So a girl comes out of a sexual situation like that. Like Dick Clark made me dress up like a squirrel last night, and shit got weird. Like that's not something. That's awful. That's terrifying. That's not.
have
Something
you ever
that
have
wanna
you ever
be
done
like-
it? Have you ever done it?
No.
So you can't knock it. Dude.
So you have?
No, I'm not. I'm not at panda level. See, it's like karate belts. There's like the red, the yellow, the blue, the black. I'm on pandas. That panda's on the black level. I've done squirrel.
So where do you go to do? What?
Where?
Yeah.
To the
Is there like a secret underground Dick Clark's Rockin' Furry Fest or like?
No, but that's a great idea. If anybody that's listening is part of Dick Clark's estate, please plan this now.
Yes.
Closet hobby for Ryan Seacrest. Don't let the image fool you. He comes off as extremely metro, but he's a man, and women love men. He goes wild boar hunting on the side. He loves to throw axes just for no reason whatsoever.
Axes?
Yeah, like literally
At Targets?
Yeah,
Everybody does that now. You can do that in the mall.
He loves to do that. He eats wild elk, like Joe Rogan style.
Yes.
And then he comes out on TV and he puts out that metro look because that's how he cleans up the ladies. That's why he gets more ladies than Dick Clark. And then when they see the behind the scenes, they're like, oh my God, not only are you like sensitive, but you're like a fucking man. And then, signed, sealed, delivered.
Signed, sealed, and delivered. Okay.
I really wish American Idol kept that other guy instead of Seacrest. He had a lot more charisma.
Was there ever another guy?
Yeah, the first season there was 2 guys. The guy left the show because he had another offer for someone else, and he made a really big mistake.
What was his name? Jeff, what
I don't know
was his name?
Yeah, can you look that guy up?
You know
He
what
kind of
his
looks like a hobbit. He looked like he was like one of those hobbits, or in Willow. He looked like one of the little.
what?
He looked like Kevin Pollak in Willow. He actually looks like Kevin Pollak when you pull him up.
They were like one person though.
In Willow.
They were like Beavis and Butthead. That guy and Ryan Seacrest.
oh yeah, they were.
They were like a mega person.
know.
Whoever he is, his biggest regret is not that he didn't get to host American Idol. It's all the tail he's missing out on because he knows how much Ryan Seacrest gets.
I know that marginal tail compared to Dick Clark's tail.
Wow.
Well, I think just by the name alone, you're gonna realize why this guy was such an asshole. Brian Dunkelman.
Dunkelman.
Brian Dunkelman.
Dunkelman. Okay.
He's probably working at McDonald's or something. Nothing wrong with working at McDonald's, but what do you got for us, Tom?
I could look that up if you want.
His career?
His career, yes. We could
he's
text
probably
you
a
where he went.
monster.
I mean, that's not really
He's been on
probably on LinkedIn.
VH1 the 2000s.
He was.
They bring him up and
he was
he's
in the
like,
The
I
Surreal
could have
Life.
been I could have been a producer of the Kardashians, you know. Okay.
He does stand up. That's what he does now.
He just probably just stands there and people laugh at his life.
All his jokes are about how Ryan Seacrest gets more ass than Dick Clark.
He does improv, Doug.
Oh well, I appreciate this guy. Then.
So, Doug,
Yes.
I like how you said Dick Clark gets
Well, we need
everyone.
Yeah. Well, no, he definitely does get more tail, and Seacrest is an absolute joke.
Yes.
Honestly, just think about his life choices. You know, he left America. Didn't he leave American Idol for a little bit, and then he came back, and then they had I don't even know who's on that show now. J Lo. He's not banging J Lo. I don't even know one famous person that Seacrest has banged.
He's been with a lot of people.
Name one famous person that he's banged?
Well, you know, we were talking hypothetically, but I bet he's banged Jenny McCarthy already. But he was with who the hell did Carson Daly date for a little while?
Carson Daly dates people.
Tara Reid.
No, Julian.
Oh, Tara
the
Reid, yeah.
dancer, Julian Hoff. Yeah, that's who he was with.
And I bet, and those are just the ones that were publicly said. Obviously, he's pulling more tail on the side. But I bet if we lined up their relationships next to each other, Ryan Seacrest blows.
Yeah, Marilyn Monroe,
Dick Clark did
Jane
not have sex with Marilyn
Mansfield.
Monroe.
He
Never
loved
happened.
all the big boobed black and white women.
Never happened.
Wow. Okay. Let's get into closing arguments here.
Oh, and let me throw in really quick. He did have sex with the guy who played Felix Unger, Tony.
He had sex with a man?
What was his last name? Yeah, he has sex with men.
Who?
Tail is not. Wait, Dick Clark. Tail. That's why he has the opportunity. He swung both ways.
I did not know this.
Well, now you know.
Okay. You jot that down.
Yeah, please. I think it's an important fact because then you got to think if you're thinking about tail as in just one sex.
No, you're thinking about tail as in like squirrels and rabbits and pandas and all the
that's-
other weird shit that no female would ever want to do with Dick
Well,
Clark.
Dick Clark, he did it a bunch, man.
Hey, nobody's judging here.
Well, you're judging. That's the whole point of this thing.
Yes.
Okay,
I'm judging.
good.
All right, Doug.
Yeah,
Closing arguments.
simple. Richard Clark got more pussy, more dicks, if you want to throw that in there too. He did it all. So think about it like this: he was bisexual. He wasn't. I would say it wasn't a 1-to-1 ratio, like pussy to dick. I would think it would be like maybe 3 dicks, or maybe
Whoa.
3 pussies to 1 dick. So like 75%. So it's better than Prince was more of a 50-50 guy.
So he was the people's people. He was like the people's
Hell
champion
yeah!
on radio.
So you got to think about that. You're thinking about tail. You're thinking only 50% of the population, but at those New Year's Eve bashes, just to say there's 1 million people, you're thinking he can only have a chance to bang 500,000. But really, there's 1 million on the table because he'll do the furry shit with anyone
Okay.
because he's all about all of it. And Seacrest, again, dude, I don't think any of these women ever want to bang him. I think they just want to go shopping or get some tips on frosting. That's just me. Richard Clark easily got more tail, and he is the king of New Year's. And I bet you he haunts Seacrest at night like the ghost of Christmas past.
Absolutely not. Ryan Seacrest gets more tail, not only than Dick Clark, than any other TV host in the history of television, I'd say. Only because, like I said, he brings it to the table. He shows that Metro side where it sucks him in, and then he shows the manly side. And I go back to the exposure thing. You know, he's all over the TV all the time. Who's a girl going to gravitate more towards? The guy she only sees once a year, barely remembers who looks like, or the guy she sees 5 days a week and just can't help falling in love, hates her husband, has this huge crush on Ryan Seacrest? Doug tried to mention that people would regret with Ryan Seacrest. They would see him on TV and be like, I can't believe I'm reliving this horror. But I think more people would rather have, even if it was a bad one night stand with Ryan Seacrest, than get in a furry suit and do all the weird shit with Dick Clark. I'm just saying, if you look at the ratio, more people will just have the regular than the furry stuff. So automatically, Dick Clark's going down. You know, he doesn't have as much people to pull in for all the weird shit that he likes to do. But that's just what it comes down to. Every New Year's Eve, Ryan Seacrest brings it 365 days a year. On top of that, he brings it. He definitely pulls more tail than Dick Clark, and that's what I have to say about it.
All right, I got to throw some in. He just said something that really I think it is a home run for me. He said that why would a girl want to have sex with a guy she barely sees? You know, Dick Clark, he was only on TV once a year. Dude, you know how many girls that want to bang guys that look like they're estranged fathers that they only see once or twice a year? Daddy issues. That's why they would want to have sex with Richard Clark.
First and fourmost, you had your closing argument, so this
care.
shouldn't even be considered into
He
this.
heard it.
But second
I don't
off,
fucking care.
Second off, any girl could bang the daddy figure of a random guy that she met at a bar. If they're going celebrity, they're going to go with the more known celebrity. That's the point that I'm trying to make.
Okay.
Yeah, but dude, Ryan Seacrest ain't no daddy. Dick Clark's a daddy.
He might like tell them to call him daddy though.
Oh, of course. Sometimes I think he would say great grandy.
Wow. All right. Shram, I believe you that I think Ryan Seacrest would be the one that pulls Jenny McCarthy. First of all, Dick Clark's dead. But if he was here, I don't think she was into him or could even hear anything he says because when he talked, it was. But Doug, Dick Clark was like he was a man for the people. He swung both ways, apparently. I did not know that.
Now you know.
He liked hot yoga, and he liked to wear a furry suit. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's a ton of people that would have loved to see Dick Clark in a furry suit. But Ryan Seacrest pulls more tail on New Year's Eve.
Yes, he does.
That doesn't make any sense.
It makes all the sense. If you listen to anything I said, tons of sense.
He's on TV. He's on the radio. You didn't even know he was on the radio. He's on.
How many times do people say, "Oh, you know, I really want to have sex with that guy that's on the radio"?
Because he's on TV.
You don't even know what he looks like.
They know what he looks like. He's on like 3 different shows.
Such a joke. Absolute joke.
No.
Jenny McCarthy, back in '93 when Dick Clark was still hosting and she was on MTV, he was probably railing her out.
He was probably like,
And she probably loved it. Probably sounds like Donnie Wahlberg on Blue Bloods.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Wahlburgers.
Blue Bloods.
Nothing wrong with Blue Bloods. I'm a big fan of Blue Bloods.
Yeah, you are a senior citizen. You drink whiskey and fall asleep. You clean
Scotch,
your
not
leaves.
whiskey.
Scotch, whatever the hell you
Thank
want to
you.
call it. You yell at the kids when they cross your lawn.
Don't go on my
You're
fucking
an old
lawn.
man.
I do a lot of work. I don't
Yeah, okay.
don't walk across
I'm sure
my
we
lawn.
could find out though. I bet you Ryan steals that kiss from Jenny every year. No one even knows it.
You think Donnie watches?
He probably does.
He probably sits there in a furry outfit. Well, thanks for listening. Looks like I'm the dick. Shram, how do you feel?
I feel great. You know I do.
All right. Well, don't forget to review, rate, and share our podcast. Follow us on what?
Keep going.
Oh, okay. You just put your finger in front of my
I was
face.
telling you wrong.
You went like
You
this.
did. You did.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Right in his face.
Yeah. Shram just put his finger in my face. Just because he beat me at something, he thinks he can talk down to me? Jesus Christ. All right. Follow us on Twitter at We Like to Debate, on Instagram at It's Debatable Pod. Good night.
Seacrest out.